You are sitting where in the world?
In Croatia.
Okay, Croatia. Where in Croatia?
In Zagreb, in capital.
Okay, I've been in Croatia, but I don't remember the exact city. That's great.
Probably on a seaside or something like that, right?
Probably.
Split or something like that, Dubrovnik, maybe.
Some years ago, we were on the Interrail, so like through some different countries.
Oh, okay, interesting. Where are you based?
In Norway.
Yeah, where?
Have you been there?
No.
Okay. It's a nice country.
Yeah,
Eager to get out of here though. Did you have a chance to look at the Miro? I'm like trying to put everything into like some form of like visualization to make sure I understand the system of yours.
yeah. I mean, you can share it and we can go through and yeah,
Yeah.
whatever questions you
How
have.
about I share my screen? Is that okay?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. I will actually have to join the meeting again because I have to allow Brave browser to record my screen to share my screen.
Oh, okay, no
Here.
problem.
Motherfucker. All right. What have you been up to until now today?
Regular Monday, doing all the ad accounts, writing the reports and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Oh, that's crazy. You should have told me so we could have like moved it to tomorrow.
No, it's okay. I'm pretty much done.
Okay, great. So here is the Miro, and as I sent you the image, I think I kind of like understand like what you do in theory. You know, like you have most of the times just start out with 3 ad sets, and it scales within this campaign, but you also move it here and also move it to the advantage shopping campaign.
Exactly. Yeah.
But you see all the post-it notes?
Yeah.
These are my questions.
Okay, let's go through them then.
Yeah. And this is not so important. I would just wanted to ask first, is there like a minimum spend or audience size to kind of get the most out of the system? Let's say if it's a smaller
No,
market.
usually I'm doing like most of my tests with the broad audience,
Okay.
excluding buyers. Or like I'm doing the tests with the best performing audience. In most ad accounts, it's broad audience. In some ad accounts, it's like a stacked interest. So then I use that audience to do all of my tests. But
Okay.
in 90% of the cases, it's broad.
Okay, and in terms of like the total addressable market of the client, does it like have to be the US to get the right size of the audience to go through this? Okay.
Not really. I mean, when it's broad, it's pretty much the whole country.
Yeah.
There's no like minimum there.
Okay. And this like process, it's like it's probably not like step by step, but do I understand like the essence that you test and then you scale and move, and you also move here, and then you find what's working, you scale it still within this, and then as the next like or required step, you put it into the manual bid, or is some you decide based on like your experience if it makes sense to move it or just keep it in one campaign, or is this like it's plug and play, just follow this?
Yeah, so like testing campaign is obviously a must. That's foundation for the whole ad account. When I found a couple of winners, like I have to do something with them. So my first step is to move them to Advantage Shopping Plus, where my all winners are. I sometimes have multiple Advantage Shopping Plus if the client has like sometimes for different products or sometimes for different geos, sometimes for like one for videos, one for statics or some stuff like that. Also, when I have winners, I want to test them with different audiences.
Yeah, makes sense.
I mean, it depends. Like sometimes, like on a small spending ad account, you will just have testing and the Advantage Shopping Plus. Sometimes, like you would have all 4, but basically testing one is a must. Also, I have Advantage Shopping Plus, and then let's test some audience. It could be happening that like none of the audience that I test with winning ads are performing. So there's no point in forcing that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, that I can delete that and that. And one just quick question here. There is, in the example you had with the recording, you had 3 kind of like ad sets.
Yeah.
I was wondering, is this like the starting point? Let's say if I would go from maybe testing a bit like on the lower end, not really having a good system, to kind of starting with this, would it make the most sense to start out with 3 ad sets?
So you're asking about the ad sets, not about the ads, right?
Ad sets, yeah.
Yeah. Like there are some ad accounts where I have like 20 different ad sets. Just because each of my new tests is a new ad set.
Yeah, but I'm thinking like
So, like,
starting out.
I mean, starting out, depending how much content do you have. Like,
Yeah.
if you don't have content, like if the client sends you just like 3 images a month, then like there's no need to have like 3, you know.
makes
So
sense.
it depends how much content do you have. But like, if I don't have content from client, I will maybe go on their Instagram to find some additional content. I would like go on website to find some
Yeah.
reviews. I would like create some images. So basically, I'll try to do as much as possible to have more tests.
Makes
So basically, there's no 3 minimum.
Yeah.
It's like as much as like I have clients where I'm testing 15 tests a week.
Okay, I imagine the budget is quite high then.
Yeah. So it really depends like how many creatives do you have. In terms of the number of ad per ad set, I like to have between 3 and 6.
3 and 6.
Usually 3 or 4 are kind of like my sweet spot.
Okay. And on the ad level, is it like this that in the case of testing angles, you have different angles, or
No.
like
No,
this where you have different hooks of the same angle?
Yeah, the second one. So basically, let's say the video is us versus them, and I have 1 to 3 different hooks, but it is the same. It's the same video, just 3 different hooks.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, that actually makes sense, because it's too, you can't trust like the ad level prioritization in the algorithm, because it too quickly charges onto like one that they.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, I just had a green around that because it's the right one. This one too, with different hooks with Laura. And
Yeah. So
yeah.
does the hook plays on a different motivators? It's pretty much, I mean, there's no rule here. Sometimes it can be like negative and positive. Sometimes it can be all 3 positives. Sometimes like you don't have an idea for the additional angle for the same hook. So, I mean, there's no really.
But it doesn't like, it's not like, oh, you have to stick to the same approach or the same concept when testing the hooks. You can be a bit crazy as long as it sticks to the us versus them, for example.
Let's say, I mean, you could have us versus them where you like comparing yourself to like, I don't know, different product, and then you create 4 different variations of that. Or you could have us versus them where you compare yourself to product A, then the second yourself to product B, yourself to product C. Then you would not have variation of the subset, but you would have 4 different variations, you comparing to 4 different competitors.
Yeah.
Or you could have yourself comparing to one competitor in 4 different ways.
Yeah, and those 4, they are 4 separate ads.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so
you always want to have like multiple variation just to maximize your chances of finding a winning ad.
multiple. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes.
Because if you launch just one ad, it's like hit or miss.
Yeah, you are diversifying by having some great
Exactly.
options.
And then I give Facebook an illusion of choice.
Okay, what's the benefit of that?
Because if I launch just one ad, then like I'm forcing Facebook to spend the money on that variation. And it's like, hey, Facebook, here's the ad. Like it's basically just hit or miss.
Yeah.
I'm not learning anything. Facebook just spends there.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay, moving on to audience. So let's say now I found that these 2 work, and here you corrected me by like I cannot have one inside, so I just added that like this. But let's take these 2 for example.
Yeah.
This one, we see that, oh, it's good results. It's with the same winning creative from here, and this audience combination works.
Yeah.
Then I continue to increase the budget and also move it to manual bid if it makes sense in terms of the budget of the client.
Yeah, of course, like you're not gonna move from audience to manual bids if you got like only 3 ads. Like it has to
Yeah.
be a proven, but like at least X number of ads, at least that like it's performing during the like 2 weeks or something like that, whatever your indicator is.
Okay, so you're saying that if I had like this one and it won, like it's doing great, it's a winning combination, then it wouldn't make sense to move it to the manual bid.
I mean, whatever works, it makes sense to work it to manual bid. But like, if you don't have budget, maybe it doesn't make sense to move it. If it got only 5 sales, maybe it doesn't make sense to move it. Like
Yeah.
it makes sense to move only proven winners.
Okay, so it's have to be really proven. Like you mentioned that a good amount of volume of sales and good under the target CPA. You talked about it in the recording.
Exactly.
Okay, and let's say audience 3, the combination doesn't work. Then I try the audience with a different bucket of ads.
Yeah, because the bucket is already proven. Those are winners because you validated them in your testing. So, okay, I'll potentially try different audience. And then that audience that I thought would be good, I would try with the different ads. So I never have one audience with one bucket of ads like 2 times. Either like I'm kind of like switching the audiences and ads to try to find a winning combination.
Then I think I misunderstood this, because I understood like keeping their audience, so their losing audience, with a different proven bucket. So I added this like, what about trying the proven bucket of ads with a different audience? But are you saying that it's the audience that is the variable that is changing and the ads stay the same? So
it's both. Because like sometimes you could find some ads that are crushing, one bucket of ads that is crushing. So okay, let me test them with the multiple audiences. But I will never have the same audience with the same ads running 2 times. So something has to be different. But if the audience is like working with the bucket of ads, I would not use it anywhere else. I would use it only with different ads, only when that initial one stops working.
Okay.
So let's say you have footwear with the bucket A, then you have walking with the bucket B.
Like interest.
But then walking interests, like this does not work. So okay, let me use walking with bucket 3. But then I don't have bucket 2 running with anything. So I will add like lookalike with bucket 2.
Yeah.
So I will try to find which combination works best with which audience works best with which bucket.
And by bucket, you mean the
group of winning ads.
Okay, and does that group segment itself by being only concepts in one bucket, or could it be a huge combination and cluster of everything?
I mean, you can, but I try to keep them like similar. Let's say you get Laura unboxing winner and you get like, I don't know, Jenny unboxing winner. Okay, I can group those because like those are same styles from different 2 creators. So that's okay, but I'm not gonna group founder style ad and us versus them image and then carousel, because like those are not related.
So the buckets, it's kind of similar. That's the essence.
Similar, yeah, exactly.
Okay, and I also added this about what is the audiences. You mentioned interests.
Yeah, so usually I start with an interests and like some lookalike. I mean, lookalikes are not really so effective, but I would still test like out of the purchase event, and then audiences, probably like the ones that are, if I'm selling shoes, I'm gonna try like footwear, shoes. That's gonna be one stacked interest. The other would be, okay, for people that are actually like spending a lot of time wearing the shoes. So those are people that are like working in restaurants, nurses. So I would have like nursing workers as an interest too. Maybe I would have like walking and jogging as an interest, because that's still related to the shoes. So I'll try to find some audiences that are related to the product that I'm selling.
Yeah. One thing I can add on there that we have seen great success with is workers at an airport. They walk a lot. So we had this. I work in an airport, and this has helped me so much for the ergonomic sole and that work.
Well, that's a good idea. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. And how long would you like repeat it or keep trying to like find the winning audience and bucket combination?
I mean, if you try some audience like with 3, 4 different buckets and it doesn't not work, I will probably discard it and not use it.
Okay, just a note to myself.
Yeah.
Okay, and just so I first understand like the concept of manual bid, or it's to kind of just maximize the juice, squeeze the most juice out of one ad as possible.
I mean, manual bids, like it tells you, hey, like you tell Facebook, hey, my bid is 50. And then Facebook would not spend any money if he cannot get you conversion for that 50.
Yeah.
In a perfect world, like Facebook would always deliver the results. But sometimes if you're just like testing the ads on a manual bids, it could happen that you don't get any delivery because Facebook thinks like your ad is not good enough to get you the results under 50. So that's why I moved to manual bids only when I have proven combination. Okay. So okay, I know this works. So okay, let's give Facebook this safety net of a manual bid.
Yeah.
But if you can spend as much as you can, because I know it's kind of like a safety net. But I don't know, like Facebook sometimes when you set a bid, it will not deliver under that. So okay, let's put a slightly higher and observe whether we would get some spend. Because if you put like too low, Facebook would not spend. If you put too high, Facebook would spend and you would not get good results. So you want to try to find that sweet spot between the spend and between the spend, which is actually deliverability, and the good results.
That makes sense. So if let's see here, I have +5 of the target CPA, I have the exact target CPA as a bid, and here -5. Then I would, if it's good in results, I would just try some different variations like -5 and +1. And
something like that, but like probably you don't have to worry with this unless you're like spending 20K a day.
A day, okay, a day. We're spending 20K a month.
Okay.
But that's gonna change. Like that's per client though. So we have 10 clients spending 20.
Yeah.
Each month. Okay, and so I scale within this or even throughout and just allocated budget. I think what here
you just like increase the budget there because you know the cost cap is a safety net.
Yeah, so I can like scale the budget per day.
Yeah.
Okay.
But obviously, again, you need some traction. You're not gonna scale after one day.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I want to see some stability. I want to see consistency, at least for a week. And then if it works, then okay, let me open up a bit.
And in like the philosophy of testing ads, we often want like having a control and a variable. And I was wondering, when I test here, what is like the control ad or?
Yeah, I don't have control ad because I don't care about beating my control.
Yeah.
I care about getting additional winner that I run in the ad account. Because like if I'm just trying to beat the control, then I'm always okay. I have one control which is one ultimate winner.
Yeah.
But I would rather have like 4 good enough ads above my target than just one great ad.
Okay, so you're saying that having a control ad it's kind of like limiting yourself by kind of always trying to stick to that old performing ad in some way.
Yeah, I mean, in theory, it makes sense because like, okay, let me try to beat that. But like sometimes you would very hard to beat it just because that new one or that old one has like a lot of social proof.
Yeah.
Like you can very hard beat it. So like, does that mean that the ad that's better than your target to us, but worse than control, is it a bad ad? For me, it's not.
But if the social proof is kind of the bottleneck to having a real test, what about just duplicating and editing one word and have all the social proof eliminated from a dupe variant and testing that up against?
You can if you want, but then like Facebook kind of like is making decisions on the ad based on the creative.
Yeah.
And the creative, like you changing the ad in Facebook ads, it's pretty much still the same ad. It just doesn't have the social proof, and it's still going after pretty much the same people.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay. So there is no like control, and I don't really need it to.
In this setup of mine, no.
Okay. Here I was wondering, in the like ad structure of the ASC, is it broad or?
Yeah, like in Advantage Shopping Plus, you cannot even pick any audience.
Oh, that's right. It's pre-picked.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. And here I asked at what point it's after manual bid, if it makes sense to even get here. It might also be after finding a winning. No, it's not. It's just straight from here, or
Yeah, exactly.
just from test.
Exactly.
Oh,
You just take the ad with the post ID.
yeah, makes sense.
So let's say like testing campaign is level 1,
Yeah.
but then audiences and Advantage Shopping Plus are both level 2.
Yeah. And cost caps is just one nice try this.
Exactly.
Okay. Cool. And here I am in the case of like not spending 20K a day, but a month. And when you said to only have this, I thought about like, oh, what about having one day view only to feed the algorithm, but to make decisions based not upon one day view, especially if you struggle to kind of exit learnings on a lower budget.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're getting more than 30% of view through conversions, you can stick to 7-day click, 1-day view, especially on that lower budget.
Okay, unless you get more than 30%.
Yeah, if you like get 100 sales and like you're getting 40 view sales and 60 click, then okay, it doesn't make sense. Then it is just Facebook over attributing.
Makes sense. And here you said combine with cost caps, and I was wondering.
Again, that's like additional step compared to the regular. Same as you set the bid on manual campaign, you could set the bid on in Advantage Shopping Plus.
I don't think it makes sense for me, so we'll have to.
Yeah.
I'll send a chat in half an hour. We'll see.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is the setup. So the campaign is just AC, and it doesn't have to mention broad here.
Yeah.
Just winners, and then you just stack them. Is there? I've heard prior to this that it's max 10, but
I mean, you can import like 150, like you can import however you want.
Okay.
But I know that Facebook would probably still spend the money on like 2-3 variations, so it doesn't make sense for me like to waste some additional variations that are not getting the spend. So that's why I stick to like maximum 10.
Okay. And you said to be careful with catalog ads, and you elaborated on that on recording, but you didn't talk about you also having mentioned IG Story and Reels. And what?
So if you have Reels and Story ad that is running only on Reels and Story, so like in your regular campaign, you have something that doesn't have automatic placement, but it has only Reels and Story placement.
Yeah.
So when you upload it to Advantage Shopping Plus, Advantage Shopping Plus is automatically on all placements. So you get an ad that doesn't have a headline, that doesn't have an ad copy. It's just a video. So it looks retarded.
Makes sense. And catalog ads, because Facebook just prioritizes it.
You can push them, yeah. So basically, potentially, I would have one Advantage Shopping Plus for regular ads and then one Advantage Shopping Plus for catalog ads.
Yeah. And you said weekly. Is that because you don't want to disturb the algorithm too often?
I mean weekly, just because I test weekly, then I test this week, next week I get some winners, so then I import the winners there, just like for the sake of
because it's like the cycle of your.
Yeah, or like whenever you get new winner, you can import it.
Okay, so import winners when nominated as winners.
Yeah, exactly.
When proven is probably the right one. Okay, optimizing on the ad level. What do you mean by that?
I mean, there are people that like just import ads and like they do nothing. They just like leave them there.
Yeah.
But if I see that like some ad is performing bad and Facebook is getting the spend on it, I will turn it off. So that's what I mean by optimizing on the ad level. So basically still optimize and as in the regular campaign.
Turn off and on.
Yeah, if it's a bad one.
Okay.
Because like people feel, hey, I imported the ad, which was a good one, so I don't have to like do nothing with it.
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, we cleared this up, but I have this one too. So, is it so that I keep every winner at every stage until it stops working? Then what?
Yeah. So, then what? I mean, you can sometimes if I see that like something was running for a month and a half, then it stops working and it's bad in the last 7 days. So I would potentially kill the ad and duplicate the ad just to kind of like try to resurrect it.
A new
because it worked for like a month and a half, so there's no reason not to work again. So potentially I would give it like a second chance.
Makes sense.
But if I was running something for a week and then it died, okay, then it died. Like I would not give it another chance just because it wasn't a proven winner for a long period of time. It was just a winner for, I don't know, a couple of days.
So it kind of goes on like your level of experience. So after having run an account for 1 year, you can more clearly see what is good or not. And
I mean, it's mostly based on like how long it was winning.
Okay.
If it was running like just for a week, then like it's not really a winner. If it was running for a month and it was generating good results and I was able to scale it, but then it started dropping, okay, there's something there. For some reason that was good.
I get it. I also had some potential scenarios here. So let's say the ad does well in AC, but then it begins suddenly to do bad in audience. I think this is like under the pre-assumption that I have it from audience to AC, but let's say in testing though, I have it in testing. Do I just, I kind of
just
don't
increase the budget for it where it works. Yeah.
So it's on an individual level. It's like all to their own.
Yeah.
Okay. Makes sense. If a small, okay, yeah, this I was thinking because I've done some like dupe scaling of some ads working in a local market for a client, and we see that it's probably having an overlap and bidding up each other.
You're duplicating what?
The ad set.
Ad set? Yeah, but yeah, you have the same ad set with the same ad. I never have that. I have the same ad with a different audience, or I have the same ad in Advantage Shopping Plus. I never have the same audience with the same ad twice.
Okay, so when you are scaling, if I understand that correctly, you are basically increasing it within the ad set, within the phase, and by having it in a new audience, or by having it in a new kind of campaign being AC.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, it's more long-term thinking than just dupe scaling it, even though dupe scaling sometimes it works for 1 week. Okay. My goal of the meeting was to have a clear understanding how to use the system, and I would say I have that. I understand how to like start. It's mostly based upon how much creative you have available.
Exactly.
And I scale it within, and when I find something that works, if it's proven, it makes sense to move it to audience. But of course, first of all, if it's proven, moving it to ASC, and I start to build up this ASC campaign of mine by time. So in the start, is there like a minimum amount of ads I want in it before like initiate?
Probably at least 3.
Okay, at least 3. Yeah, I have 3 here, so it's illustrated. Okay. And one thing I pushed away in the start. In the recording, you said that the traditional like take on thumb stop ratio, it doesn't work combined with the hold rate because it like cannibalizes each other or something.
I said that hold rate does not really work.
Oh, it's the hold rate.
So thumb stop ratio is 3-second video view divided with impression.
Yeah.
That's how everybody is calculating.
Yeah.
But the hold rate, some people are calculating it with true play divided with impression.
Yeah.
But I do not. I use true play divided with 3-second video view. So that's why if you have a great hook, that means like when you're calculating hold rate, your great hook would impact your hold rate just because you're dividing with impression.
Yeah.
But in my case, I evaluate hook as a first 3 seconds, and then I evaluate hold rate between the third and the 15th.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
Wow. Great. It's looking a lot better than when we started half an hour ago.
Nice to hear that. Did you record the session?
Yeah, I did. I can send it to you.
Yeah, that would be good. If you want, I can publish that on. If you're okay, I can publish that on YouTube.
Of course. I was let me see. I was only recording like the Miro and the meeting, so that's good. I can send it to you. I use Loom for that.
Oh, okay, perfect.
That's cool. Yeah, you're recently just getting started with YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. I just started.
That's cool.
So far, it was only on Twitter, but this is kind of like a next step.
Yeah, that's cool. Are you active on LinkedIn?
Just reposting the stuff from Twitter.
Yeah, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
But it was great talking to you.
Likewise, man. If you need any questions, just shoot me a message on Slack.
Appreciate that.
Perfect. Thank you. And yeah.
I will send it to you.
Sounds good. Bye-bye.
Bye.